France are not coming to the 2026 World Cup with a good attack. They're coming with a lethal team. But here's the thing, we've heard that before. 2021, France had Benzema back, Pogba playing the best football of his life, and a squad that looked unbeatable on paper. 2022, Mbappe put in one of the greatest individual performances in World Cup final history, and they still lost. So before we start throwing around words like unstoppable and historic, we need to ask the real question: what actually makes this time different? Because something genuinely has changed. And when you see exactly what it is, you'll understand why this France squad isn't just scary, it's a completely different animal from every version that came before it. There is a player in this France squad who this season has produced more assists than anyone else in Europe. Not in one league, across the entire continent. 27 assists in all competitions. To put that into perspective, the average Premier League player manages around 3 or 4 in an entire season. Olise has more than 6 times that, and he's a winger. Michael Olise, 24 years old, 50 goal contributions this season. That means in roughly every single game he has played, he's either scored or set up a goal. Every single game. The most of any winger in Europe's top 5 leagues. Those are numbers that don't just drag you into Ballon d'Or conversations, they demand it. And here is the part that should genuinely terrify every team at this tournament. He has never played at a major international tournament. This World Cup is his debut on the world stage, a player performing at arguably the highest level of anyone on earth right now, and the biggest moment of his career hasn't even happened yet. Bundesliga, Champions League, and now the World Cup. It's all there for you, Michael. Take it. Now, if Olise is the player nobody talks about enough, Dembele is the player everybody got completely wrong. Cast your mind back 3 years. Barcelona couldn't wait to get rid of him. Injury-prone, inconsistent, a generational talent going absolutely nowhere. The kind of player you'd shake your head at and say, what a waste. PSG took a chance on him, and what happened next was one of the greatest individual transformations in modern football. 35 goals, 16 assists in one season. His previous best in a single season was 14 goals. He didn't just improve, he more than doubled his entire output and dragged PSG to their first ever Champions League title in the process. Then he won the Ballon d'Or, the same player Barcelona couldn't get off their books fast enough. And now, in 2026, he is flying. His dribbling is impossible to stop. His finishing is surgical. When Dembele gets the ball in full flow, there is genuinely nothing you can do. You just have to watch and hope. The Mosquito has not just evolved, he has become one of the most complete attacking players on the planet. And he is bringing every single bit of that to the World Cup, with a point to prove to everyone who ever doubted him. Everything we just told you, Olise, Dembele, those are icing on the cake and not even the full picture, not even close. Ryan Cherki, 22 years old. In his first ever Premier League season, he is already joint top of the assists chart. Pep Guardiola calls him the most naturally gifted player he has ever worked with. Let that sink in for a second. When he runs at you, the ball disappears. When he shoots, it's filthy. And when he decides to find a teammate, he sees passes that simply do not exist for anyone else on the pitch. Then there's Hugo Ekitike, Liverpool's most important striker this season with 11 Premier League goals in his debut campaign in England. A proper number 9, deadly in the box, intelligent out of it, the kind of striker that makes defenders genuinely miserable. Bradley Barcola, 5 goals in his last 5 games. Rapid, savage, unplayable in open space. And Desiree Doué, 19 years old, Champions League brace in the final last season. There are people in France who genuinely believe he could become better than Lamine Yamal. He is 19. Most nations would build their entire World Cup campaign around just one of these 4 players. France have all of them. Now, if we're talking about why this time is different, we cannot skip Kylian Mbappe. He already has 56 goals for France. One away from becoming the 2026 isn't just the scoreboards, it's what he's been through to get here. We saw him in 2018 as a 19-year-old bullying grown men on the biggest stage in football. Then 2022, when France looked dead and buried and terrifying, because that pain never left him. 3 years at Real Madrid, the most pressure-filled environment in world football, delivering in El Clasicos, delivering in Champions League knockouts week after week after week. He is not the same player who missed that penalty against Switzerland. He is not the same player who couldn't lift that trophy in Qatar. He is more complete, more ruthless, more mature than either of those versions, and he is coming to this World Cup chasing history. One goal from becoming France's greatest ever scorer. When Mbappe wants something that badly, the entire World Cup should be very, very afraid. And yes, we have to talk about it because you're thinking about it. Everyone is. France have lost 5 of their 9 penalty shootouts in major tournament history. Argentina, that is not bad luck. That is a pattern. And for years, it has been the one question nobody in France could answer. You can have the most devastating attack on the planet and still go home if you cannot convert from the spot when it matters most. But here's why 2026 is different. Mbappe has spent 3 years taking penalties in El Clasicos, in Champions League knockouts, in the moments where Real Madrid's entire season hangs on one kick. He has not flinched once. Dembele scored in the biggest moments of PSG's Champions League campaign with the whole of Europe watching. Olise converts from dead ball situations for fun, 100% penalty conversion rate in his entire career. And Cherki, a player so composed on the ball that Guardiola trusts him to control the tempo of a Premier League game at 22. The squad that bottles penalties is the squad without players who practice winning under that kind of pressure every week. Look at this France squad and find me one player who doesn't. The penalty demon is not gone because France got lucky. It is gone because this generation of players is built differently. And that is the most terrifying thing of all. That an attack this devastating needs a foundation, and France have one. Conte is back. Not a shadow of himself, the actual Conte, relentless, everywhere, impossible to play through. Tchouaméni alongside him, maturing every season at Real Madrid into one of the best defensive midfielders in Europe, and behind them, Saliba, Konaté, Upamecano, 3 of the most dominant center backs on the continent, all peaking at the same time. And Deschamps, the French coach for 13 years, has been here before. He knows what it takes. He won it in 2018 with a squad that had less firepower than this one. He reached the final in 2022 with Mbappe carrying the attack, the midfield, the defense, every piece in place, every question answered.